Boris Johnson and US Vice President-elect Mike Pence have spoken by phone about the US's close relationship with the UK. The UK Foreign Secretary said on Twitter they had agreed on the importance of the special relationship and need to tackle global challenges. Sources close to Mr. Johnson said the two men spoke for 10 minutes on Thursday. The BBC understands it was Mr. Pence's first call to an overseas politician. On Thursday, Mr. Johnson said critics of Donald Trump's victory should end the collective whinge-o-rama and be positive about the possibilities. After Mr. Johnson's comments, Mr. Pence responded, "Just spoke to Boris Johnson. Discussed America's long-standing and close relationship with the UK." BBC diplomatic correspondent James Landale noted that the US Vice President-elect had opted not to use the phrase special relationship. Hugely irritated. Mr. Johnson, who last year suggested that Mr. Trump had been out of his mind for suggesting a ban on Muslims entering the US, has insisted the UK should be optimistic about the future following Mr. Trump's victory. At a news conference on Thursday, before speaking to Mr. Pence, he said it was time to be overwhelmingly positive about the possibilities of a Trump presidency and described the US president-elect as a deal maker. Meanwhile, Downing Street has rejected claims that ministers will be forced to use Nigel Farage as a go-between with the Trump administration. The Daily Telegraph reported ministers would have to seek the advice of UKIP's interim leader because they have no links to the president-elect. But sources close to the Prime Minister told the BBC that Mr. Trump, who defeated Democratic Party candidate Hillary Clinton, favored a relationship with Theresa May as close as that of former UK and US leaders Margaret Thatcher and Ronald Reagan in the 1980s. Mr. Trump invited Mrs. May to visit Washington, during a phone call on Thursday in which both stressed the importance of UK-US relations. BBC political correspondent Ian Watson says Downing Street has been hugely irritated with the claim ministers were seeking the services of Mr. Farage in forging links with the Trump administration. A source close to Mr. Farage made it clear that he had no intention of working with conservative ministers.